Welcome to the program Restoring My African Soul. My name is Janet Murphy Robertson, and I'm Executive Director of ArtistsAndMusicians.org. I'm delighted to be here today with Robin Joyce Miller. Robin is an artist, a teacher, a friend, and a personality extraordinaire. Welcome, Robin.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here, Janet. I enjoy talking to you. We've done that on occasion. It's special to be here to discuss restoring my African soul and my feelings about growing up and being Black.
Fabulous. Robin, you speak very frankly about an important topic in America, the topic of race. I've heard you speak very, very frankly on the subject. And I think many people will be very interested to hear you speak and hear you tell the story of your own life and how you came progressively to more authentic artistic expression by connecting with your family and your culture and your history. So perhaps we could begin at the beginning. Can we talk a little bit about your childhood?
Absolutely, absolutely. I grew up in Queens. I had a mom and a dad and a brother, and I was the oldest. I was born in 1955 during the beginning of the Civil Rights Movement. My father was an artist, and so I had art in my home. I was used to having art. My father did African American pieces. He wasn't really a painter. We did have paintings in my house. However, my father was a graphic illustrator, a technical illustrator, and
Parsons School of Design?
Parsons School of Design.
Oh,
he was one of the only African Americans in his class. He only went there for like 2 years. And he made a career as an artist after 2 years of that. So we're very proud, we were always proud of that. My father was the only artist that I knew. As a young person, I never knew that I had it in me to be an artist. I didn't understand the concept of DNA, that it could be passed on. I looked at my father's hands and I remember just thinking they were magical. And my art was uninspired as a child.
And how did your family feel about your becoming an artist?
That's interesting. My mother was excited. My father didn't know if he needed another artist in the family, okay? Quite frankly, he was very happy with me being a teacher, not necessarily going into his turf. So he did have some, there were some issues. Before he passed, he totally accepted me as an artist as I continued, and he saw that it wasn't going to go away. But I think that he was very happy for a while being the only artist in the family.
Interesting. Now, in your household, there were images of African people, and how did you feel about that?
Honestly, I didn't think about it. This was just my home. Later on, I would say the images on television were the ones that had an effect on me. I grew up watching the Civil Rights Movement. I saw children being hosed down. I saw cartoons with African people on it, screaming and wearing costumes that I felt offensive. The characters on TV, Mammy, when I saw Gone with the Wind, these type of Amos and Andy characters, I found insulting. I just didn't feel proud. They didn't evoke a feeling of pride in me. So I don't know if I knew that I wasn't so proud then. It was just an uncomfortable feeling of why am I part of a group that is so disrespected in the country, in the world, on television.
Yes, and your cousin, you told me once about your cousin, Ozzy.
Yes.
And tell me about him and how your awakening on the
I was
subject.
5 years old and he was 18 years old. And he came to live with my grandparents for a while. So he was fun, and I played with him, and he was always playing 45s, listening to Smokey Robinson. And I remember one day he decided to tell me that my family came from African people. He goes, you know that long time ago our family, they were Africans. And I was highly offended. I said, I'm not African, I'm not African. I couldn't imagine how terrible. To me, that was horrible. And I just ran around screaming. And I remember him telling me, yeah, yes, we are. Yes, we are. And I was offended and could not imagine him saying that, although there was something in me that said, okay, we're brown people, they're brown people. You know, so this is, I'm just telling you now as an adult. As a child, I just felt uncomfortable, even angry that he would say this. And I have a poem. Okay, I have a poem that I wrote, you know, as an adult, thinking about what I might be feeling. And that poem is Ignorance is Not Bliss. Don't want to be no African. No, Lord, not me. Dark, shiny skin, just plain ugly. Don't want to be no African. Why would I be? I don't run through the jungles or swing on some tree. Don't want to be no African. No, Lord, not me. Too much shame, too much pain, no proud history. Can't be no African. Who would I be? Not a person, but something enslaved shamefully. No, Lord, don't want to be no African. So when I read that, even say that now, I'm not proud of that feeling. It's a feeling that says, you know, when Malcolm X came along, he started talking about, I'm black and I'm proud. And that was an important time, an important movement, because I don't think that I was the only one that felt that. And knowing black people and knowing the conversations I had with friends, we discussed, there were times who was lighter, who had straighter hair, whose lips were bigger, who had more Eurocentric features. So those kind of things said that we're not really proud of who we are. We're trying to be something else.
So, Robin, is it fair to say that this was really a crucial part of your evolution as a person, as an artist, to grapple with all of that and ultimately to embrace your culture? We'll be talking about the amazing works that you've done where you ultimately talk in a very powerful way about the black experience. But at a young age, you had absorbed something from the culture that was not positive.
A lot of negativity. I remember watching the civil rights movement. I saw people like Bull O'Connor, and I saw signs that said that they don't want to be with black people, white people not wanting to be with black people, as if we were dirty or something was wrong with us. Have been and who we can be in the future. We need to know that we are special. We need to know our roots. That's what Marcus Garvey and Malcolm X were talking about. They hear about Martin Luther King because of the holiday and in schools, but there are numerous people that I haven't spoken about, that they need to learn about, that they need to know. And not only African American young people, but all people need to know. African American history is part of American history. It's not separate. It is integrated into the history. It is part of the history. African Americans helped build this country. So it's not a separate entity to itself. And I'm often offended by the fact that even with my work, people are just most interested in February, when this is history for everyone at all times. It is not just something that should be secluded to the month of February and maybe January because of Martin Luther King.
And a wonderful place for people to follow up and see your work and learn more about the total story would be the Zion.
Absolutely, Zion. I hope to do some workshops there for teachers, and hopefully young people will come, and then I would like to go out to the schools and speak. I have slideshow presentations on the Harlem Renaissance, on jazz, which integrates European, American artists who are both white and black, just many, peace and harmony, just trying to bring about a cohesiveness of people and cultures, because America now is made up of the world. We are the world. So it's important that we all feel good about who we are, and we understand that we all have something to contribute to society.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Robin Joyce Miller. And thank you all for joining me for this conversation with Robin. And we will be seeing you again.
It's a pleasure. Absolutely a pleasure.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Robin.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Janet.